Who knew that Karen and Mike Pence had game? I mean, I did not have that on my bingo card for this year whatsoever, but Karen Pence famously snubbed convicted felon Donald Trump at Jimmy Carter's funeral. She refused to go to the inauguration. And just this morning, I believe, former vice president and target of the January 6th insurrection, Mike Pence, drops this.
RFK Jr. is a Democrat plant, a radical left liberal. A lot of people think that Jr. is a conservative. He's not. He's more liberal than anybody running on the Democrat side. Jr. is totally anti-gun, an extreme environmentalist who makes the Green New scammers look very conservative by comparison. And he's anti-military and he's anti-vet. He's an extreme liberal. He's radical left. And so don't think you're going to vote for him and feel good. He's a radical left Democrat. I'd even take Biden over Jr. because our country would last about a year or two longer than it would with Jr. It would collapse almost immediately.
Mike Pence tweeted that. Yeah, Mike.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, he did it for the wrong reasons, but he did it.
What reasons would you say he did that for?
I think he did it because he thinks RFK is too liberal. Like, not that he's incompetent and that he's wholly unqualified. I think he thinks he's too liberal.
You're probably exactly right. But I just think that people are craving counter programming so desperately right now. And we're craving a reality-based fight and a little dirty. And this kind of shit needs to be the optics of this and the duplicity and the breathtaking hypocrisy and the double standards needs to be broadcast all the time. And I think so many people in the United States right now are feeling like out to sea. You have corporate media bending the knee, LA Times, Washington Post, and then Paul Krugman recently on his Substack said that he left the New York Times because of the micromanaging and huge rewrites of his editorials. And so you see the news, corporate news failing us. And then Mike Pence comes out with that banger. Are you kidding me?
Do you think Mother got to him? Do you think she said, Mike, grow some balls? They tried to kill you.
I think that maybe this is the thing. We've always asked, you and I off camera, like, what will it take for somebody indoctrinated in the Trump cult to get out of it? And I think it is attempted murder. I think now we know the answer. It is attempted murder. And once they try to kill you, then you find Jesus and you put out counter programming on your Twitter. Now, I want it noted for the permanent record viewer and listener. We here at I've Had It podcast and IHIP News still believe with every molecule of DNA in our bodies that Mike and Karen Pence are batshit lunatics.
Right.
But even batshit lunatics have moments of clarity. And they are having a moment of clarity as to how idiotic, dangerous, and stupid Donald Trump is. Right. And so both of those things can be true at the same time. The Pences can be having a moment of clarity, but also the Pences suck. They totally suck. He's trying to atone with this little tweet. I appreciate it, Mike, but you're still a dick. You've always been a dick. You're always going to be a dick. You just have a little bit of clarity. But speaking of my guy that I think fights the good fight, and he is not afraid to stand up to bullies. Let's hear Governor of Minnesota, former vice presidential candidate, Tim Walz.
Those folks are in there, and they're making, they put out tweets from the president's fail son who threatens people, like, we're coming for you. You think this is bad or whatever. So I would tell people, stay focused. Don't take the bait on the distractions. Surround yourself with people who understand this and recognize the things they went after today are basically a big chunk of what society does. And people like to have clean water and hospitals and safety and roads and airports, all the things they're going after. And you summed it up. There's societies that function like like this, where the rich and the oligarchs do everything, and there's some fabulously wealthy people who are basically, not basically, are above the law, and the rest of us are here. And I think we have to find that voice. We have to push back. We have to be organized. We do have to use the courts, but I just want to caution everyone. I don't know what tends us to believe that Donald Trump cares what the courts say. I think there needs to be more to that. And I think it is taking it to the individual people. Show what each of these programs does and what it means to people's lives.
Pumps.
I couldn't agree more. I have a real concern regarding the illegality. And even if a judge says, okay, you're breaking the law, what you're doing is illegal, he and his administration, and thank you, Supreme Court, for allowing this, you're going to say, I don't give a fuck. It's an executive order. I'm the executive. I can do what I want. So we're full-blown dictator. And the consolidation of power, I think trying to depend on the court all the time, number one, it takes a lot of time. And number two, I have zero evidence of Donald Trump caring about the law or caring what a judge says about the law. This is a man who has been held in contempt 11 times. And that is, you cannot behave appropriately. So we are going to have to hold you in contempt. It is unbelievable how he will disregard law. So that's my fear. What's going to happen when he says, screw you, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. And everybody around him is like, oh, yeah, me too. I don't care. He said it was okay, so I'm going to do it. I mean, that's where it gets really scary for me.
I think that he's absolutely going to recklessly disregard the law. There's no question about it. And the minute it goes to court, he will send his MAGA digital army to demean and investigate the judge. And just like he's done with Marshawn, I mean, this is literally, we're entering into an lawless oligarchy with a man that wears a diaper and can't blend his makeup and has dementia. And then his co-president, co-wife, whatever he is a Nazi that sniffs ketamine. I mean, I can't believe that I'm saying that, and I'm not joking, but that's where we are. And then always, every time Trump is in power, he has these lying liars. And the press secretaries just really get to me. Last time he had that little Sean Spicer who came out, came out hot about the inauguration crowd, totally lying liar. And then he has Kellyanne McEnany. What cracked me up about Kellyanne McEnany is she stood there and lied while wearing a cross because, she's a good Christian woman. Right. Well, enter Trump 2.0. Here is the first press secretary that we have. And I want you to notice what's dangling around her neck when you're listening to her lie. Kylie, play the clip.
Folks that you mentioned have a right to have that legal opinion, but it is in disagreement with the legal opinion of this administration. This administration believes that birthright citizenship is unconstitutional, and that
it's literally constitutional.
Right. It's in the Constitution.
In the Constitution. So my question to you is, do you pray to Jesus, the guy whose cross you're wearing around your neck with that same lying mouth, or is that a different mouth? Because I want to know. I want you to sit down and explain it to me like I'm fucking 5. I want these MAGA Christians to sit down and explain to me like I'm 5 years old how this motherfucker is somehow Christ-like. I literally want you all to sit down and explain it to me because it is abhorrent. The display, the flagrant display of dishonesty that goes on with these MAGA Republicans, these MAGA women. And she stands up there, and right now in our state, women are having complications with pregnancies or carrying their rapist babies because women like her carve out this idealistic white picket fence world. And she lies to herself and lives in a community full of lies to believe that somehow what they're doing is good. Meanwhile, people are suffering and they are damaged, and the Trump administration is going to damage them more. And it makes me sick. The hypocrisy that you all wonder about that happens with these MAGA Christians. Pumps and I live in the Bible Belt. I'm here to tell you it's worse than what you think. It is worse. They are worse than what you imagine.
Well, my comment would be, you said, how does she think that he is Jesus-like or something to that effect? He's the biggest grifter of all time. He preys on their vulnerability. The cruelty, he is cruel. His policies are cruel. And all these people that, oh, I'm so Christ-like, what would Jesus do? You know what they're doing? They're dragging kids out of hospitals. They are the absolute most despicable. And what they have in common is persecution, judgment, righteousness, and grifting. That is absolutely, when she was at her press conference yesterday, it took all I could do not to have a complete meltdown in my house by myself.
Now, come on. We're not, we cannot be the lived out white women that are melting down at press.
I'm not melting down right now.
That, you gotta grow fangs. This is an extension of the shock and awe bullshit that he does. And we can't be there. Of course she's coming out. Of course she's lying. Is any of this meltdown worthy? No, but it is fucking fight worthy. That's what it is. And I refuse to melt down over Trump and the lying, fake Christian bullshit. I want to fight for marginalized people and stand up loud and proud and not affirm these stereotypes that the right wing wants to say about women, that we melt down, that we're hysterical. You're better than that, Pumps. I'm not going to you're not melting down on my watch, sis.
I know. I just did it in the privacy of my own home because
not even in the privacy of your own home, not on my watch. We are the rebellion. We are going to fight. There will be no melting down. You're growing fangs. You're growing a pair, and I'm going to put
my big girl panties on.
That's right. Okay, guys, we'll see you later.